Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 with Newcastle United. Today is the day where we could find ourselves qualifying for a Carabao Cup final. We just need to get past Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. We have bought a new player. You can probably see his name on the screen. If you haven't, wait for a second and then you'll probably find it. We've also played a few matches in between episodes. First, let's talk about some transfers. Only two bits of news of players leaving the club, both of them on loan deals, both of them actually strikers. Eduardo Romero, the Uruguayan who I think we signed in the summer, he's gone out on loan to Colorado in the MLS. Hopefully he'll go there, get some football for, I don't know how long he's going to be there for. I think it might just be 6 months. We'll find out. But yeah, he's gone out on loan to the MLS. And Jordan Ormerod, the player who I mentioned last episode, I think he has also gone out on loan to AFC Wimbledon in League One. He properly started being a disruptive force in my team, and I don't understand how an 18-year-old can be disruptive. I don't know what was going on. He was really annoyed. He wanted to leave and sign for West Ham, I think it was, on a permanent deal. I didn't want to sell him. West Ham bid £10 million. So I know he's good. I know we've got something really good here, so I don't want to lose him. So he's gone out on loan to AFC Wimbledon. Hopefully he'll play there for half of the season, come back, scoring loads of goals. Maybe he might break into the first team in the summer or the start of next season, because there was some transfer business, or interest, for David Francis, the Trinidad and Tobago international. So much interest, in fact, that I think he's actually transfer listed. He is transfer listed by request. I will not be accepting anything less than £30 million. I've got 40 there, but I won't accept anything less than £30 million, and we will have a big sell-on fee in there, because I think, much like Jordan Ormerod, David Francis is good. He's got a big future ahead of him, so I don't want to lose him if we don't have to. I am also, in preparations, I'm scouting some players, maybe thinking if he is going to go, we're going to have a replacement all ready to come in, and someone who's arguably better than him to begin with. Joining the club then, a brand new signing from South Africa. It's no one special at the moment. It is Bafana Mkhize, who is a 22-year-old South African left midfielder, and I signed him because my scout said he was good, and they lied. He's 2-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability. I think he was just doing really well in the African Champions League. I think that is literally all it was. He was doing well in the African Champions League. My scout said, you should probably have a look at him. He was available on essentially a free transfer. It was £160,000, so we snapped him up. And yeah, he's probably not going to do a huge amount for us. Might never see him play at all. Okay, this is the big one. 32 years of age now, England international. I assume he's still playing for England. Don't know whether he's retired from international duty. He may well have done. Formerly of Leicester City and Manchester United, it is Harry Maguire. Yes, he's getting on a bit. He is 32 years old, but he's still good. He's in the prime years of his life, according to my coach report. 3-star current ability, 3-star potential. He's cost us £10 million, which might be a bit steep, considering he's going to be 33 in a month and a bit's time. He does also have essentially a 3-year contract, so we've got him for 2 more years after this one, which by the time that finishes, he'll be 35 years of age. Can't see him basically playing much more than maybe the end of next season. If he's still good, that's fine. Also, another reason why I brought him in, or 2 reasons. Firstly, English, which is always a plus. Secondly, he's a perfectionist. So hopefully he can actually be used to actually start mentoring some of the youngsters. And I think realistically, that's what our defence is needed. We've kind of lost the John Souttar. Not we've lost him, but John Souttar hasn't really been playing so much. So our defence consists of a 22-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 19-year-old. So maybe having a Harry Maguire there is actually going to maybe give a little bit more experience to the back three. Now that's out of the way, let's talk about the fixtures that have taken place in between episodes, and we've done bloody well, apart from the FA Cup. We started off against Liverpool, we went 1-0 down, we were getting battered. And then Nicky Monasterio just decided to turn up and play football, scoring both the goals for us, then getting himself injured after I'd done all of my subs, so we actually finished the match with 10 men. A 2-1 victory against a ridiculously good Liverpool side. I don't know how we did it. And then against Wolves, a different player, completely different player, scoring 2. And this one, it is central defender Fernando Zelaya. First of all, scoring from a header. Secondly, scoring an absolutely wonderful free kick, giving us 3 points. Is that going to be an omen for today's match up against Wolves once again at home, this time in the Carabao Cup? I hope it is. Then up against Everton, it was a 2-2 draw here, and it is the return of Robert Lewandowski, scoring his first goal in a while, I say in a while, since the 28th of December, which was a penalty against Arsenal. Scoring also is Nicolas Monasterio. Callum Hudson-Odoi scores an absolute screamer, which I wouldn't be surprised wins goal of the month. Lovro Maia scoring an 89th minute equaliser, because we love giving away penalties. Lewis Cook this time conceding in the 89th minute. And then against Swansea, we lost. We lost in the 92nd minute. Lewandowski did score. I did play a very rotated side, as you can see. Lewandowski and David Francis actually started in this match. Wang was our goalkeeper. He's my cup goalkeeper, basically. So, yeah, it wasn't a good performance, this one. Less we talk about it, the better. So we do know who we're going to face in the final, and that is Manchester City. They beat West Ham 6-2 on aggregate. They won the first leg 3-0 away from home, the second leg 3-2 at home. We are 1-1 after the first leg, so it is all to play for. I don't think away goals count. I'm just assuming away goals don't count, but we will see. One thing that we won't see today, though, is a debut for Harry Maguire. I say debut, he's already played once for us. We're not going to see Harry Maguire, obviously, because he is cup-tied. So, the starting 11 for the Wolves game. In goal will be Adnan, a back three of Jakobsen, Zelaya and Big Dids. Johnny Santos and Marlon Charles will be the two wing-backs. Guendouzi and Shackleton will be the central midfielders today. Now, there is a plan here. Christ Chole and Lewis Cook are both a yellow card away from suspension. If we get to the final, we are going to need Chole. At the very least, we are probably going to need Lewis Cook, so we're going for Guendouzi and Shackleton in the middle today. Greg Huddle is going to be playing every game of the Carabao Cup, I've decided, even if Thiago Almada is fully fit, which right now he currently isn't, but yeah, Greg Huddle, he is our cup attacking midfielder. I think he's earned it. It's going to be Franco Di Matteo and Nicky Monasterio as the strikers. I think probably shouldn't have David Francis on the bench. I think he might be a bad influence. I maybe also need to put, do we? I was going to say we should probably put Johan Mylard on the bench, but every time he seems to play, he just balls it up. I'm going to drop Helinho as well. I'm going to put Restrepo. Restrepo's one of those players that he's probably our third choice left back now. And that's no fault of his own. He's bloody good. He's actually still a wonderkid. Oh, he's not. He's just an attacking fullback now. But still, he's bloody good. Oh, one thing you also might have noticed, which I've literally only just noticed, is I now have a much better face pack. I've been doing some computer maintenance and I found my old FM19 face packs and thought I'll just pop them on. So yeah, now everyone in the Wolves team seems to have a face. Everyone in our team seems to have a face, apart from Jakobsen for some reason. But yeah, there you go. That's something new. Now, even getting to the final would be an achievement, wouldn't it? But if we can get to the final, we're going to have to play Man City. Man City are very, very good. I believe we haven't beaten them for a very long time, so it's not going to be an easy match. This one, so far, is a very boring match. We are 25 minutes in, not a single highlight until Isco takes the free kick. Odegaard's there, Adnan holds onto it. That's probably the whole highlight. Yep. Big Dids with a free kick. We've got 5 or so minutes to play. Franco Di Matteo's in the back, and his effort hits the outside of the post and goes wide. Not a lot is happening in this game, but we've had 2 chances, which arguably could have gone in for both sides. It is 0-0 at half-time. There is one goal that is going to decide this game. That is it. One solitary goal. Guendouzi's picked up a yellow card. I'm going to be assertive. I'm far from pleased. Hand over to the assistant for that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go positive. It's a risk. Just seeing Guendouzi's on a 6.5. Santos has a throw. 53 minutes on the clock. Guendouzi into Shackleton. Doesn't manage to get there. It's going to be headed forward, though, from Jakobsen to Guendouzi. Long ball. Doesn't find a Newcastle player. Shackleton nicks the ball away, though, in front of the Wolves man. Marlon Charles runs forward with a bit of purpose into the penalty area. He's been tackled. He's had another go anyway. Pickford makes a save. Could that have been a penalty? If Marlon Charles went down, that could have been a penalty. Santos' throw finds Franco Di Matteo. We are being the much better side in this second half. Di Matteo on the volley. Oh my word. Franco Di Matteo may have put us into the final with that wonderful strike from the edge of the area. 60 minutes played. It is not over just yet. But what a finish this is from the Italian. Santos ball in. Monasterio doesn't win the header. And Di Matteo just goes for it from well away from the goal. Blasts it into the bottom corner. We are 1-0 up. Do we now change from positive to being slightly more balanced? We are going to. Isco's corner comes in. Tap Sober is there, but Adnan holds on to it. Right, time to do some changes. Guendouzi is going to be coming off. Lewis Cook is going to come on. We're also going to do Huddle off for Thiago Almada. Basically, Huddle was looking nervous, and obviously we have the yellow card for Guendouzi. Just Lewis Cook, don't get booked, would be nice. Final 10 minutes. Tapsoba with a free kick for Wolves. I'm going to give him a little demand more. Tapsoba's ball finds Isco. He's going to have to play it back though. Ferro forward on that right-hand side is Morgan Gibbs-White. He's going to cut inside. He's been tackled by Marlon Charles, but Aribo collects the loose ball. Now Jota across to Thierry on the left. The fullback's going to run forward, crosses in, Shackleton heads it clear, and now Franco Di Matteo, the goal scorer, is going to break for us. Down the left-hand side, he's got Nicky Monasterio, does use him. Monasterio into the area, go on, make it 2-0. He doesn't, it's straight at Pickford. We are going to win ourselves, I think, a corner? It is going to be a corner. Almada is going to be the one to go over to take the corner. We've got, obviously, the 3 central defenders in the box. It's straight on a Wolverhampton Wanderers head, though, and now Morgan Gibbs-White can break free, but the highlight just ends. I think Johnny Santos being booked means that he's missing the next match, which isn't ideal because it means that we don't have a right back, which kind of sucks. Right, Monasterio's on a 6.3. Going to bring on Lewandowski, swap you two over. I know there's literally 3 minutes left to play, but something might happen. It didn't, and I'm kind of glad. We are into the Carabao Cup final, our first cup final with Newcastle United in this save ever. Now, we do have the mammoth task of beating Manchester City. We're not going to win a title, are we? We're not going to win a trophy, but at least we're going to try. That was Franco Di Matteo's first goal in 13 hours. 13 hours, and he scores that. What a bloody way to break your duck. We've booked our place in Wembley as well. When is the final? It is the 1st of March. So that is not far away at all, is it? That is very close. So we've got 4 matches in between that. What I'm going to do, I'm not 100% certain, but next episode might be the Fulham game, because I'm fully aware that we haven't seen any Premier League action since the Chelsea game on the 1st of January. So yeah, we're going to go for the Fulham game, I think, and then we'll have the Carabao Cup final as well as another episode. What I'm also going to do in this episode is we are going to go forward. We're going to play the Man City game. I'm not going to show it on camera, but also we do have the transfer window still open, so I kind of want to summarise all the transfer stuff before we actually get into another episode. Right, we've played Manchester City, and we deserved more than this. We were the better side. They had a lot of shots, okay? They had 1 highlight and scored from it. We had about 7 shots. All of them were highlights. We should have scored every single one of them and didn't manage to do it. Instead, we come away with a solitary point. Franco Di Matteo with another goal. It's a good point, but the transfer window, that is what we really need to talk about. Stuff's happened. Lots of money has exchanged hands between a number of sides. We've brought in, I think, 2 players, and 1 big name has left the club as well. The first of 3 players to leave the club in total, Carlos Restrepo. He's gone out on loan to AC Milan because he isn't registered in the squad, because I've bought some more players which I think are probably more deserving than Restrepo. We obviously do still have 2 left-backs anyway in Helinho and Marcos. Marcos? Who am I talking about? Marlon Charles, that's his name. Marcos? Who's Marcos? Yes, so Restrepo, like I said literally earlier on in the episode, he's our 3rd choice left-back. Going to AC Milan, that's a bloody good move for him for a loan. We've also shifted on Kamil Kawaya. He's gone to Portsmouth, £1.1 million. He wasn't good enough. I just wanted an experiment because he was a free and he was from Syria, and I've never bought a footballer from Syria before. Now I have. And the big one is David Francis. He has left the club. He has signed for Arsenal. £37 million, I think it is in total. £36 million. We don't have a sell-on in there. But we have replaced him. This is the main thing that I wanted to do. Made sure that there was a decent replacement. We have replaced him. £46 million worth of striker. We will get to him in a minute. We've also got one more transfer to talk about as well. It is Marcos Senesi, a player who I signed for Everton. We have brought him to Newcastle. He's come in for £11 and a bit million. He was transfer listed. I like Senesi. When I signed him, I was excited to be able to use Senesi, and then basically got sacked shortly after I signed him. So now he's here. We're probably not going to be getting sacked from Newcastle anytime soon, so hopefully Marcos Senesi can do a job for us. He's not registered for the Europa League though, because we were only allowed to do 3 changes. One of them was Almada, one of them was Harry Maguire, and one of them was this man. For £46 million, we have signed a Football Manager legend. He is now 26 years old. He is not a German international, because I assume the German national side isn't on this game. Is it on this game? Hold on. No, it's definitely not. There's only 3 players in the Germany side. Okay, so he would be a German international if he was able to be, but he isn't. Signed from Bayern Munich, he's played 95 times for them. It is Fite Arp. That's right, we have signed Fite Arp as our replacement for David Francis, and I honestly think that's a pretty good replacement, isn't it? This is the type of player that I was looking for when I signed Lewandowski. £46 million might be a bit steep for a player who realistically hasn't done a huge amount, because, I mean, that's his best season with 11 goals and 11 starts for Bayern, and then I assume they just stopped playing him. 9 in 30 is not great, it's not amazing, it's not awful, but Fite is in. Fite Arp, Nicky Monasterio, Franco Di Matteo, Robert Lewandowski. That strike force is frightening, is actually frightening. So now that the transfer window is closed, what do you think of my transfer business? Honestly, I think I've done a good job this year. We've actually spent a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. If we have a quick look, we have spent £174 million. £174 million. Those of you who wanted me to start trying to push for Champions League, I think I might have done it. I think I might be starting to push for Champions League. And if you look at the league table, we're 25 games in. We are within touching distance of the Champions League. We are 5 points behind 4th place Manchester City. So it's certainly a gap that we can close, particularly if we have to play some of the lower down sides. How are Tottenham 15th? Anyway, that's irrelevant. How are Southampton 3rd? That's even more surprising. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Next episode, what are we going to do? I've already discussed this. We're going to go for Fulham, aren't we? That is what we're going to do. We've got 2 matches. 2 matches in February. We had, bloody, 9 matches in January, 2 in February. What is the world coming to? So yeah, next episode will be Fulham, then we will have the Carabao Cup final, and then we'll be back into the Europa League, I guess. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Football Manager 2020 with Newcastle United. If you did enjoy, do remember to leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back next time with more Football Manager.